What's up, everybody? Hope you didn't catch my dancing. Good morning. Welcome to the morning show. It's the best morning show in finance. Spencer Israel, JC Parets, Steve Strazza. Whew! A lot going on today. We got earnings, obviously, duh. But we have a amazing deal announced last night. This Penn ESPN Barstool transaction. I'm thinking it's like a win-win-win for everyone. We have the Penn chart handy, ready to go. Can't wait to talk about that. A guest today, Caleb Franzen. He came prepared with some charts as well, so he'll be on the show at around 8:50. So about 20 minutes from now, we'll have Kimmy Sokoloff at 9:15. Options Sean McLaughlin later on in the show at around 9:40. And that's the plan. We got charts, and then we have more charts. So if you're watching us on YouTube, good morning, everyone in chat. If you're watching us on our site, Stock Market TV, good morning to you. If you're watching us on Twitter, howdy. Let's go.
Good morning. Good morning. Is this still earnings season, Spencer?
I think it's fair to say that after next week, we will be nearing the end, or at least.
Thank God.
Yeah, I know.
Spencer's all about earnings season. I hate it. Gets in the way. It's annoying.
It gets in the way. You're absolutely right.
It gets in the way. There's a word in Spanish that, when you speak two languages, Spencer Israel. I don't know how many languages you speak. But when you speak multiple languages, there are certain words in one language that's way better than the word in the other language, right? And in this case, I have a word for you. It's called atravesado. How's that one there, Alfonso? Atravesado. That just means like in the way, annoying. Earnings season is what I like to call atravesado, right? Would you agree there, Alfonso? For those who
He's laughing in the chat.
He's laughing in the chat. He gets it. He says it's definitely atravesado as well. So there's no word in English that translates that well. Spanish is a Romance language. It's not like this ugly Germanic influenced English that makes no sense at all. Anyway, that's my fun fact of the day.
I speak 0 languages. So anyway. Let's start off with state of the markets. I know you guys have your charts for that. And then we can talk about this Penn. We'll do what's moving and talk about this Penn deal because it is pretty awesome. I think state of the markets though.
All right, so let's get right into some slide 2 real quick. Steve Strazza calling me out last week, calling me out in the golf course. JC, you're getting very tactical with your crypto position and your mining position. Very tactical. Traditionally, Strazza tends to be more tactical than me for my time frame, but this is one of those situations, and I explained to him as I was shanking the ball into the woods that I'm very good at that, right? Strazza was counting how many trees I was hitting with my shots, and there were just so many we lost count. So I just don't want to miss this trade, right? We had a great trade that got us here, and one of the really interesting parts of this trade, you were in the Riot and the Mara, I believe, and the Coinbase maybe. I was just heavily in the Mara, and I was impressed at how well these stocks were doing without Bitcoin breaking out. Right. And, when Bitcoin failed 4 weeks in a row to break out above 31,000, this is about 3 weeks ago, I said, you know what? That's enough for me. Too rich for my blood. I don't want anything to do with this. I'm going to wait for the breakout. And then a funny thing happened and things really started to get a little bit uglier in the crypto mining space. Things could have fallen apart potentially, which I was totally okay with because I wasn't in it. Right. And, we've been watching and just obsessively monitoring the situation because I don't want to miss it. And here we are. And in fact, last week I started nibbling again, got out again, very tactical to Strazza's point. Not like me at all. But I am adapting my process for this particular situation in the current environment that we're in. And that's something that I've always been proud of myself for doing a good job of, is sort of adapting to the market environment as opposed to just shoving a strategy down the market's throat no matter what. Like that, I used to do that. Like, that's no good. And you see people doing that all the time. That's no good. So I might be a little bit more tactical in this particular situation, Strazza, to your point, but I think it's warranted based on the environment. And by the way, in my particular objectives, which are to pay cash for an expensive beach house, and this is the trade that has the possibility to, so I can say to the wife, be like, all right, honey, go pick out the one you want, right? Like that's what I want to say to her. And I think this trade might help me get there. So I really don't want to miss it, and I want to take full advantage of it. So this is the setup. Maybe a little oopsie. Straz is always talking about how these crypto assets really get going after an oopsie.
Yeah, so I love this. And, we talked about on the golf course, I have no problem getting in and out of a trade also. And it's usually this type of a formation, right? This is a short-term continuation pattern. You don't know when it's going to continue, but we err in the direction of the underlying trend, right? And presume that it will soon resolve higher. This is pretty damn close here, right? Like you said, you've already been in and out of it, what, 1, 2, 3 times?
Well, we had the trade that worked out really well, and I was adding to positions on the way up, right? This was in June and early July. Great trade, no complaints, right? So for the record, I've got some P&L, which helps me let it dance a little bit psychologically, like that. That's just full disclosure. And then I got in, started nibbling a little bit, and it wasn't working, and I got out, and that's when we were on the course on Friday, and you were like, you're out again?
So this will probably be the last time that you'll have to do this, right? Because like you said,
is this it? Is this it?
Because we got the oopsie, right? And it's either going to probably roll over here today or into the end of this week, and these are going to resolve lower, or you're going to get a failed move and then a potential fast move off of it. So you're going to find out pretty quickly whether or not this trade is going to be a winner and reverse higher, or if you're going to get stopped out, which I would think happens pretty fast too.
Why don't you take a look at the underlying? So this is Marathon and Riot. We'll come back to this in a second. Here's the underlying.
I bought a ton of Riot calls yesterday too.
I started getting into the Mara, and I was talking with Meltem last night on text message. Meltem Damaris, we need to have back on the show because I want to heat. I'm putting a pool in my backyard, and I want to heat the pool with a Bitcoin mining operation. And I do. And my pool guy is a wannabe degen, right? He's interested, in this whole thing. My pool artist, not my pool guy. The guy designing the whole backyard. And I asked Meltem, I'm like, Meltem, I heard I could do this. Craig Johnson says I could do it, for the record. He's not a dummy. And Meltem says, you can definitely do it. So I text the pool guy and I said, listen, I think we could do it. And he says, let's do it. I'm game. So what he's going to do is he's going to set up an actual heater, and then we're going to build the Bitcoin mining as a supplement to that, and we could turn them on and off.
It sounds like a truly terrible idea.
Bitcoin. What?
Oh, God. It sounds like a truly terrible idea.
Well, maybe it is, maybe it's not, but we're going for it. So anyway, the point is, Bitcoin, I said it today on Twitter. I was like, owning Bitcoin is actually a great way to underperform in an environment where Bitcoin prices are going higher. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, no, I love that. I just read your post. That was great. I agree.
We counted the other day, Strazza and I think Bitcoin was up like 1%, 1.5%, and these things were up 5%. We're doing the same thing like in Ethereum with some of those others. These are leveraged plays. So you're getting 3 to 4 to 1, basically. So to the upside, you want to be in these. To the downside, you better get out because you're going to get smoked, right? That's basic. It's a leveraged play. But it doesn't reset every day like a 3 times ETF. Like it's legitimately just supply and demand, which is really interesting. So it's not one of those things where it's just for day trading, like these leveraged ETFs,
No, they're real stocks. And here's the thing, right? Last cycle, the juice was in the altcoins and the shit coins. This cycle, there's almost no participation beneath the surface in crypto. Yet Bitcoin is trending very well. These companies are not levered to the crypto space. They're levered specifically to Bitcoin. And I think that's kind of why we're using these vehicles and not the alts like we were last time.
But we're holding above the last month's lows, the lows from the last couple of months that broke down. Like I'm saying, there's a chance. Robbie making fun of me that I said on Friday that I don't care whether if these miners go to zero. Yeah, because I didn't own them. If I don't own something, I don't care if they go to zero or not. It doesn't matter to me one bit, right? It's true, right? So anyway, I like adding to positions. Let's go back to the Riot and the Mara because these are my vehicles of choice to express a bullish thesis in crypto. Marathon's above 16.5. I think you got to be aggressively long, probably adding to positions above 20. And then on the Riot, 17.5, again, probably adding to positions above those former highs from last month. That's how I look at that. If Bitcoin can stick the landing, I think that's huge. Now, on the other side of the coin, see what I did there? The other side of the coin, take a look at the Apple there on slide 4.
I thought you were going to go to Coinbase.
No. That's enough. That's enough of the Bitcoin. Let's move on. Let's move on to real stocks, right? That's what they say. This is a real stock. The other ones are just junky stuff. All right, maybe.
Yeah, they have earnings. They're real companies.
Whether they do or whether they don't, I don't care. This is Apple. You may have heard of it. Kind of a big deal. World's biggest company, and it's nasty. It is. It's got some work to do. So in my experience, when I see things like this, my suspicion is it's going to take a while. Most likely, things are probably going to get much worse before they get better. At best, they're going to go sideways for a while, but they ain't going up. At least that's certainly not the bet that we're making or that I'm making. I think this is a mess, and it needs some repair time. And with such heavy exposure in the major indexes like the NASDAQ and the S&P, I would expect them to have trouble progressing, advancing much without the participation of Apple. And then I got 2 ratio charts. Here's the S&P low volatility index, which has gotten destroyed relative to the S&P 500 because in raging bull markets, the last thing you want is low volatility stocks, right? Low volatility stocks tend to do very well, particularly on a relative basis when stocks are under pressure. Hence why they did so well throughout 2022, as you can see there, right? But we're back down to the scene of the crime where this ratio bottomed out late last year. So do we start to catch a bid in some of these more defensive areas? Look at the last one that we showed yesterday. And this is utilities on a relative basis. Maybe a little bit more exposure to the interest rate situation. Perhaps if interest rates start to come down, maybe you get a relative bid in those utilities. So no positions, just something I'm monitoring, something interesting that might be transpiring here behind the scenes.
You know, there's some interesting stuff in the chat about utilities this morning. Even if this chart, this ratio, finds some sort of a floor here, we're not buying utilities.
I mean, I haven't bought utilities, but it's not like I wouldn't buy them. Why not?
I don't think you could touch, utilities in an environment where interest rates are where they are.
What if utilities start to catch a bid, indicating that perhaps interest rates are going the opposite way?
It's going to take a while, right? Wouldn't you still rather buy Treasury? I don't see how money flows into utilities right now with Treasuries paying what they are.
Here, I got a chart for you, buddy.
It's more something like that is more for information that other stocks are no longer outperforming.
Throw up slide 1 there, Spencer. Look at that, look at that, baby. Woo!
No,
what do you think? Look at slide 1. Look at that. Whoa, yeah. Ho. Look at that, baby. You shorting that? Are you shorting that top, or is this one of those infamous not a top patterns?
I mean, this is one of the best ones.
No, this is the best one. This is it.
Right. So
this is so the best one. You couldn't even tell me what number 2 is.
You're talking about by size, correct?
Name me another utility stock that you would put ahead of this.
Southern Co, Duke Energy.
No, but not ahead of Nextera. No. Nextera is by far away. Let's see what the market cap is. Nextera has a market cap of 140 billion. Wow.
Monster.
And then Southern's only 75. So Southern's half the size. So this is the Apple of utilities, if you will.
And they do all sorts of fun things in the alternative energy space.
Caleb chiming in on the chat. I own the shit out of NEE. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
he probably more so what they're doing in the alternative space, but hear about him a lot down here in Florida.
Do you?
Yeah.
Never heard of this company in my life. The only reason I know it exists is because it's the largest utility stock. So it's like a bellwether for the space, right? It's the only reason I know it exists. What do you think? So clearly, Caleb is not betting that this is going to collapse, but quite the opposite. He owns, what is the exact quote? He owns the shit out of it. He owns the shit out of it.
I'll give you this one because this one's a little bit different. It actually trends unlike these other utilities companies. Wow, it's got a pretty big dividend yield at this point. I think historically it's paid a lower dividend than this, or at least a below average dividend in the utility sector. We can ask Caleb more about it when he comes on. I'm just not interested in buying utility stocks in a raging bull market. These are risk-off stocks. These are defensive stocks, and they pay yields that are less than what I can get risk-free markets buying U.S. Treasuries. So I don't know. I think this one has, a different type of growth story and different type of growth profile than its peers. So maybe there's something there, but it's just not a space I'm looking at.
We based out of Juno Beach, Florida. Fun fact.
Yeah,
Maybe that's why you're always hearing about them.
It's a Florida company. They own Florida Light and Power. They're real big down here.
Oh, there we go. See, it's all coming together.
A lot of people coming together. Nextera down here, yeah.
One more thing there, Spencer. If you want to pop in, I think that this is something that's relevant for all of us here.
What?
So yesterday I put a poll. Polls are these things where you ask a question and people can vote on it.
And
right?
People often lie, so the poll results tell you nothing. Is that thing that you're talking about?
Are you really going to go that people are lying on these polls? Seriously? Why on earth would anybody lie on these polls?
People lie on
the poll?
On the AAII one.
Throw up slide 1.
Strazza, I've done that before, and anyone can do that.
It's the same
with
slide
1. Go to slide 1. Look at the poll I put out there. I thought it was an interesting
Anybody
question.
can participate in AAII. Okay, wait, what is this?
Which one happens first? 10-year yield. Let's say 10-year yield's at 4 even right now. It's 4 and change or so. Which one happens first? 10-year yield at 5 1/4 or 10-year yield at 275? In other words, 125 basis points in each way.
What are we at right now today? 4 and change.
4 and change. So I split it, right? We're right in between both.
What was the downside? I'm looking at the chart. Sorry. What was
275?
275. Oof, dude.
It was pretty split. It was pretty split, honestly.
Yeah.
It started moving like towards the end of the poll, but like early on, it was really close to 50-50. What do you guys think in the chat? You guys want to chime in? Chime in. What do you guys think?
What is the terminal rate according to the Fed right now?
Oh my God, are we really going there?
Yeah, because that's what matters.
Is that what matters?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see. 5.
All right, Spencer. Listen, are we bringing in Caleb at 9?
Well, we got some good feedback the other day, actually a while back, and we never implemented it. But the feedback was we should bring our guests on earlier so that we have more time with them if we want before Kimmy. So I'm hoping Caleb can come on now.
He's in the chat. He's in the chat talking shit about utilities. In a good way. He's long. I appreciate that. So he's around. Bring him on.
Well, he has to join our studio first. So once he's in, there he is. All right. Well, let's bring him on right now. Caleb Franzen from Cubist, and he's a great follow on Twitter if you don't follow him. And let's go. He's got charts too.
Jay, we've been friends for a long time. Make the call.
This is pretty professional, guys.
Nice show you got going here.
Caleb.
What up, guys? How much do I have to pay you to get in on that intro?
Nice. Caleb, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
Yeah.
Carmen Sandiego.
Is that before your time? Are you too young for that?
It might be. Yeah, it's over my head.
Come on, guys, in the chat. Do you remember where in the right? Come on, Strazza, are you familiar?
He's saying, where are you? Of course I remember Carmen Sandiego. I played.
You're a little older. Man. You're a little older. Where are you right now?
I arrived in Bucharest, Romania, almost exactly a week ago. So
how long
it's amazing.
Have you been traveling?
About 5 months now.
Wow. Are you with anybody, or you're just traveling alone, kind of just going city to city?
Full solo. Just by myself. It's been cool though. I actually met up with some Twitter followers last night.
Yeah, that's the way to do
Dinner,
it.
so that was pretty dope, and some local Bucharest Romanian guys, and it was dope.
Dude, good for you, man. Good for you.
I told Caleb to come meet us out in Asia, but it was trying to catch a moving target.
Listen, if you're still right, exactly. If you're still, how much longer are you going to be doing this? Have you decided?
Gonna keep the train rolling, man. So no plans to stop. We'll see. I mean, obviously I want to come back to the US. It's just a matter of when and how it makes sense. So
sounds like
I'm
you're
having
having a good time.
Yeah, I'm loving it. So why cut the trip short, you know?
I hear that. I'll meet you in Amsterdam.
Deal.
Yeah. I'm gonna do Amsterdam, London, and Brussels with the boys when they head out there.
Nice,
but
man.
no, probably no Romania yet. Okay, can we first of all, you chimed in on the utility. So you're long Nextera. Since when and why?
I've been buying it since, let's see, I did a piece on it highlighting when I started buying this thing. So I started buying it in mid-February. This is just a pure long-term holding. This isn't, like some trade that I'm planning to hold for the next 2 months. You guys were talking about it. It's a renewable, it's a utility. It's the only one, as far as I know, that's in the S&P 500. Like you said, it's the Apple of utility stocks. Double the market cap of the second largest player in the game. And, they own Florida Power and Light. And I think that accounts for like 70% of their operating income or their revenue, something like this. And so, they pay a basically 2.8% dividend yield.
Yeah.
And, zoom out on this thing. It's outperformed the utility sector by a tremendous amount. It's outperformed the S&P by a tremendous amount, 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the line. So from my perspective, this is something that I want to own for the long run.
And you probably know, I think they have a different type of growth profile. Most of these big utilities names grow in revenue at like 2-3% a year. They're so regulated. I think Nextera, they're growing over here, right? Like double-digit growth rate? Or
they are growing. I still haven't even brushed up on their latest earnings report, but when they did Q4 from last year, I think they were growing revenue at like 22% year over year, 18% year over year. It was down sequentially versus the prior quarter. So, slowing down, but yeah, I mean, show me another utility stock that's growing revenues at, double-digit percents.
Look how excited we are about utility stocks.
Right. So I just looked at their segment revenue. Florida Power and Light is like 17 billion of their like just over 20 billion in revenue. So that's
what about rates? Spencer, can you throw up that rates poll? I want Caleb to take a look, and I want to hear his thoughts on that. Do you see that? So I put out a poll on Twitter with a 10-year yield around 4%. Which comes first? 5.25 or 275, and we're right in the middle. There's that black screen of death that Spencer loves so much.
Fonz, I'm gonna kill Alfonso. I got it. Don't worry.
Oh man.
No, I got it right here. Don't worry. I got it.
Spencer loves the black screen of death.
You don't understand. It's not me.
The more black screens, the better for Spencer.
I got it right here.
So anyway, I put out the poll with U.S. 10-year yield at 4%. What comes first, 5.25 or 275? How do you feel about this?
I would take the 275 personally.
Wow. This coming from the utilities long. Talking your book.
Caleb reads these economic reports, JC, and he's all over inflation.
Somebody has to.
Yeah, he does a great job, digging into these reports. And based on what I'm reading on your Twitter lately, I think you're done with inflation. You think it peaked, it's rolling over, and it's going to keep rolling over? Like, where's your head at?
That's been my position since December when we got the November data, because in the November data from last year, we saw median CPI actually decelerate for the first time. And I was like, okay, I got to hop on this train now. So, I think we're going to see a reacceleration on a year-over-year basis for this July report, but thereafter, we're going to keep going down. I like the inflation conversation. I'm just like, I'm so over it. It's like I'm still talking about it because people, it's like such a bifurcated topic.
Yeah.
I think right now, with the yield story, economic growth, economic data has been slightly stronger than expected. I mean, look at the Atlanta Fed's estimate for the latest quarter now. I think they're projecting 4.1% real GDP growth. That's really fucking strong. Higher for longer with the Fed. Personally, I think they're just about done. So, I think that yields are going to start coming down. They've been bid up. The last time I was on the show with you guys 2 months ago, I was talking about how that new treasury issuance is going to flood the market, and we're going to see yields push a little bit higher. And that's exactly what we've seen. It's been a little bit faster and more than I anticipated, but it's been the move that I anticipated. So,
and these large speculators with crazy net short positions, like everybody's betting on lower bonds. I like how you like the other side of that. I like that.
So are you remaining, how open-minded are you to like a second wave of inflation here? If you look at things like crude oil or gasoline or inflation expectations, kind of digging in, holding those prior cycle highs.
Yeah, can we get energy to take over leadership? To Strazza's point, can we get energy taking over leadership without rates going up?
Right.
I think, I mean, energy stocks are pretty damn good right now. And you guys, kudos, you guys have been all over that since day one, pretty much as it's, resurged higher. In my opinion, like, look, everyone was talking about energy in the month of July, right? Oh, crude oil is booming. It was still down 25.1% year over year in the month of July on an average basis versus 2022. So as far as I'm concerned, we still have really strong tailwinds for deflation and therefore broader disinflation from energy, probably through October of this year. Unless for some crazy reason we get some massive supply or demand shock that just pushes oil through the roof. So if we get there, sure, like I'll concede that we might see that second wave of inflation. Until then, I don't see it, particularly because shelters 35% of headline and 45% of core CPI.
Yep. Yeah, crude oil today strong again, taking out the AVWAP from those highs. I mean, this thing has been
looks like it's breaking out.
Yeah, it's been really resilient. It's starting to look like one of those bases that we've seen so much of this year. Same with gasoline. So this will be interesting. I think we're trying to stay open-minded to where rates are going from here. And, I continue to think that just going nowhere might be the best outcome for risk assets. And probably
that's exactly 100%. What it's been, and stocks love it. Agree.
It's not down. It's
right. Stocks clearly love that. You're absolutely right.
Well, I mean, even more, right? It's like, look how much yields have moved higher over the last 3 months. And what have we seen equities do? They've just ripped, right? So it's like, even with a rising interest rate environment, we've seen equities push higher. And so I think you're right. You're right, Steve. It's like, even if yields just level off, stabilize, that's what we were talking about with the dollar the last time I was here too. We were like, does the dollar even need to fall for equities to really rally? It's the same thing with yields.
So what do you think? Like, we've been saying, thank you. That's a lovely transition into the dollar. We've been saying internally, I've been asking JC the past few days, like, are we back to, this game of the dollar is the most important chart in the world right now? What do you think? Like, how?
I think it always was. What do you mean back to it?
Stocks have been working for the past 2 or 3 quarters now. The dollar rolled over. We were able to kind of like, move it down on the priority list, I think, a little bit, but now it's back. I love how we got the oversold reading and then the, whipsaw move higher. What are you seeing in the Dixie right now?
Yeah, a little bit of a fake breakdown there. I think the last time I was on, I was pointing out that 200-day moving average cloud. So I combined the EMA and the SMA. We're still below that, and both of them still have a negative slope. So as far as I'm concerned, structurally, I still have to be bearish on the dollar. I will say though, like, crude oil is broken above its respective 200-day moving average cloud, and it now has a positive slope. So I'm a little bit more structurally bullish or tactically bullish on oil. I'm not quite there yet with the dollar.
Caleb has charts too, and I want to. He sent a few over.
He's got some stocks to talk about specifically.
yeah. I want to bring him up here.
Wait, one question before we get there, though, Spencer. Caleb, I think you were pretty early to this bull market. Maybe not as early as us, but you've been talking about it. You've been there. You pay attention to fundamentals. You pay attention to technicals. You pay attention to all the information out there. What was most helpful in getting you positioned in the right way, earlier this year, and keeping you bullish? Like what is your go-to data point or list?
Step one, it's a mentality. You have to be objective and you have to be willing to admit when you're wrong. One thing I say is it's okay to be wrong. It's not okay to stay wrong. I think if we're talking specifically about data, one of the things that really got me going in late April, early May on the bullish side for sure, was seeing tactical improvements in S&P 500 internals. So net new highs on a 20-day, 50-day, and 52-week basis, just accumulating that week after week, day after day, month after month. And so to me, that data still looks pretty damn good. So that's why I'm still not willing to concede that this rally's over yet.
I like it.
What about the sector rotation, right? The lifeblood of a bull market. We've seen that consistently over the last year. you know, with some overhead supply and some of these tech and heavy growth stocks, some rotation into other areas would make perfect sense. What do you like best in the back half of the year? Don't tell me utilities.
No, definitely not utilities. Not the Utes. Let's talk if we're talking Utes. Let's go like 5 to 10 years. I'll dip my toes. I still like tech, but I'll be very careful about how I say this. For me, the Nasdaq has not given a structural breakdown signal, so I like tech. When I look at MGK, Mega Cap Growth, it's a fund that we were talking about the last time I was on. That does not look good to me. So for me, Mega Cap Growth off the list. When I look at the iShares Expanded Tech ETF, basically SaaS companies, that's broken down. So I can't be bullish on that right now short term. What am I bullish on right now? What still looks good? ARC-F, the FinTech Innovation ETF. And ARC-F doesn't fit within mega cap tech, and it doesn't necessarily fit within SaaS, depending on which FinTech companies you're looking at. So maybe if we could show that ARC-F chart, exactly. This looks like a classic Wyckoff accumulation to me. We're retesting that upper bound. What's not to like here? You know, you could just be long ARC-F here and sell it if we get a breakdown below that red range. But to me, this is a retest of former structural resistance that now has an opportunity to flip into support. What's not to like about this?
So shout out Bruce Frazier, still spreading the Wyckoff word out there at Golden Gate University. I love Wyckoff. What comes after accumulation, Caleb? I think it's a markup phase. So you're saying as long as we hold this base breakout level, a new uptrend is underway. And over longer time frames, I don't think there are better patterns to buy than these textbook reversals or accumulation bases. Are you playing it through ARC-F, or you're going to show me like a Coinbase chart that looks just like it and you're going to play it that way?
Man, you can read my mind today, huh, Strazza? Yeah.
Coinbase? I didn't look. Is it?
We're talking Coinbase here. So I entered this trade yesterday, actually. If we could put that one up on there.
I'm sorry. I swear I didn't even look.
Here it is. Let me preface one thing here. You know, ARC-K and ARC-W look very different than ARC-F right now. So we do not have a breakout over that accumulation range in ARC-K and ARC-W. We have it in ARC-F. So this is why I'm hunting here. And so I bought coin yesterday. Look, I'm very tactically bullish on Bitcoin right now as well. So coin is just let's go,
now
man.
It's a party.
100%. I'm even in a trade right now on ARB, Arbitrum. So I'm swinging that as well on a short-term basis. I bought Bitcoin like a week and a half ago, more. So let's get the coin here though. So look, you know, we're getting rejected on a pretty logical level, right? Going back to those August of 2022 highs. We're cooling off, and where are we retesting? The former year-to-date highs from February that also acted as resistance in mid-March. So I bought on that teal horizontal line. If we get a breakdown below the green range, I'll sell it. I think it's a 3.6% stop loss. And we can get back to that red range. That's a 35-36% gain.
Yep.
If we get back to that red range and retest that again, I think ultimately we break through that, right?
But even if
substantially higher
there, I think he's saying it's a great trade, even if you're taking profits there.
Of course.
And
now,
I
continuing
will be
to think through this, right? Would you agree with that, Caleb? If we get back up there, maybe we don't just break out on that first attempt, but couple more and it's off to the races. No,
I would agree. My plan, if we get there, it's a big if, but if we get there, I'll sell half my position and I'll be willing to hold on to that other half through some volatility. So, you know, because even if this thing goes up and it hits that red range and then sells off, let's say it sells off 10%, 15% after it gets there, I'm still in profit, 15 to 20%, right? So, you know, I still like it even if we get there and sell off. So I'll take half my profits there, and I'll be willing to hold on to the rest for a little bit more.
So the way I have it drawn is even a little bit different. Like I think this current level in the mid 80s is so important. You could even extend this little resistance turn support zone, the green one. You could extend it all the way out to last year because we had multiple touches last year. And if you just ignore that little false start at the August highs, that little blow off, and it was like an island too. So even that little formation responded to this, you know, mid 80 polarity zone here. I think you couldn't find a better place to define your risk. I think you can make an argument that the reversal's in if this level holds here.
Wow, look at us getting involved in the crypto. A lot of different ways. You know, this is great because I think we're all three of us are exactly on the same page. But we're all choosing different ways to express a thesis. Caleb's talking about owning Arbitrum. He's got some Bitcoin, some Coinbase. I'm in the Mara. Strazza about the Riot. Like, you know, we could all be right, and we're expressing in different ways based on our own parameters and overall objectives. And this is a good lesson for other people who might not catch on to that. Like, we're all on the same page. We're just choosing different vehicles to express that thesis, which is great. But hold on, before I let you run, Caleb, you've been traveling for 5 months. You've had some interesting experiences. Tell me your favorite place that you visited in this journey of yours.
So far it's been Budapest. I felt really at peace there. The architecture was just beautiful. The women, beautiful. The food was good. It was inexpensive and super affordable. Had kind of that big city feel in a lot of ways, a little bit rugged too. So it kind of had like a little bit of a New York, maybe even somewhat of a Brooklyn vibe. I met up with some Twitter followers out there, so they showed me a good time, and it was just it was a blast all around. So Budapest.
Good on you for taking advantage of your Twitter following and meeting up with locals and stuff like that. I've done that for many years. It's great. You know, it's such a good thing to do. Good on you. Smart.
Thanks, man. It's really cool. You know, I'm in their country and their city, and so you know we already have something in common and something in interest with markets, with investing, with trading, whether it's Bitcoin, crypto, equities, whatever the case is. And so, you know, it's like there hasn't been a single awkward moment. Everyone's been really chill, ranging from basically 22 to 42 years old. And, you know, I'm a 28-year-old guy, and, you know, we just jam out for a little bit, maybe have a drink. Maybe
That's why you don't know who Carmen Sandiego is. Strazza, years ago, I remember meeting up with some followers and some paid customers of ours. And then Strazza's like, "Are you sure you're just going to meet up with them? What if they're serial killers?" I'm like, "Well, I'm just going to bet that they're not serial killers." And now Strazza's like meeting up with all kinds of Twitter followers all over the world. Now Strazza understands now.
No, but it's the move. It's the only move when you're out there in these countries that you don't know what to eat or what to do or where to go or what's the right neighborhood to hang out in. Having some friends or even some, you know, people you know on Twitter to kind of give you some good advice and take you out to dinner and show you the ropes is super helpful.
Caleb, best food so far. What city?
Istanbul.
Ooh. Yeah? What were you eating?
Good food in Istanbul, man. Whether you're talking just like classic kebabs, they have really good dessert. They have kofta. It's like it was simple food, but it was really good. And then Turkish coffee is elite. I loved it.
The one they do in the hot sand?
Yes.
I see that on Instagram all the time. I want that. Looks
great. It lived up to the hype, I'll tell you. So if you have a chance to try it, 100% go for it.
It tastes as good as it looks.
Yeah, it's like an espresso, just like with a little bit of a twist.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Dude, all right, Kate, we gotta get Caleb back in soon.
All right.
Okay.
Have fun.
Thanks a lot, Caleb.
Out there.
Peace, guys. Take care.
All right.
He's the man.
Dante Patton in the chat says there's no way this is live. What do you mean? There's no way this is live.
This is definitely live.
It's live right now.
Definitely live. That's why it says live on the upper left.
Okay.
As live as it gets.
Real fast. Let's talk about this Penn news. Penn is up. It's actually like near the top of my up filters here this morning. It's up like 20% now. Just what I was saying earlier, I think just an epic win-win-win for all involved. Okay, so here's a timeline of events as I find the Penn chart.
What a terrible chart this is. Oh, God.
Here's a timeline of events.
Put in one of his ugly charts again. Hold on. Can you put up slide one?
No. On my own. Spencer, to us.
We have one that.
Slide one.
We have one that intern Evan made that I want to show. Okay, last night.
Evan, the intern.
You don't think the show is live? They really don't think it's live.
Okay.
Oh, this isn't an ugly chart. See, Spencer, this is how you do it.
Okay, so timeline of events. You ready? In January of 2020.
There's like too many arrows on this, though.
Okay. Too many arrows. This is true. I'll give you that one.
January 2020, Penn National announces they're taking a 36% stake in Barstool Sports. They paid $163 million for that. They had an option 3 years later if they wanted to buy more of the company, and they did that. In February of this year, they announced they're buying all of Barstool Sports for another $388 million. So in total, they paid about $550 million for Barstool Sports over the course of 3 years, cash and stock. And then yesterday, they announced, actually, never mind, we are going to sell in quotes kind of, sell Barstool back to its original owners. And by the way, we are also inking a 10-year $1.5 billion. I'm sorry, it's $1.5 billion annually deal with ESPN, where Penn National is going to be the official sports book of ESPN. It's called ESPN Bet. So now ESPN and Penn are together, and Barstool is on its own. And
quickly, Spencer, how much is the deal with ESPN?
It's Penn is paying ESPN $1.5 billion over the initial. So yeah, it's $1.5 billion over the course of 10 years.
Why is Penn paying ESPN?
Because Penn is paying to be their exclusive sportsbook partner.
This is not a merger at all.
No,
it's not a merger, but it's just a big deal because Penn Gaming is only $4 billion.
ESPN could have partnered with anybody, and they're saying
they had to get rid of Barstool just to partner up.
It's Disney, Strazza.
Right. So
you think what the smoke show of the day is in line with
they don't do
Snow White?
They haven't done that in like 10 years. But
they did it when I used to read Barstool.
Yeah, me too. Me too, JC. So this is why this is a great deal for Penn. Okay. Right. So the original logic of the Barstool acquisition was that Barstool could obviously they're doing content, but they had the Barstool Sportsbook, and they could help Penn sort of get more market share. It didn't quite work that way. Okay. ESPN gets about 117 million unique visitors per month. Barstool Sports gets about 8 million users.
How much does ESPN get?
Their website gets 117 million unique visitors per month.
Barstool only gets 8.
Right. So
I mean, I can't even go to ESPN's tough these days. I pay for ESPN Plus, but I think you have to. Because what do you think about the normal ESPN website? It's not. I mean, you go there to check scores and the time of games, but there's nothing good going on there outside of that.
I mean, I definitely don't go there as much as I used to. But in any case,
I also don't have the time I used to. So there's that.
Right. So in any case, this is a huge, and there's a reason the stock is up 20%. I mean, they had earnings as well, but it's not up because of the earnings. It's up
because of my chart with less arrows.
Fine. Wait. The point of the arrows though was the red arrow on the left. That all the way to the left there. That was when Penn announced its initial stake in Barstool. Just take a look at that line there.
Same place.
Yep. Very interesting. Okay, JC.
We've gone a long way in both directions just to get back to the same spot.
Yeah, and Portnoy, he owns a ton of this. He owns a ton of this stock. So, I mean, he's rooting for Penn to do well. So, I mean, think about how much Penn he owns. He probably made a lot of money this morning. He made his stake in Penn is up 20% overnight, and he got Barstool back. Not bad.
Yeah, and he got Barstool back kind of in a way for free. It's not really for free because there are some terms here. For example, Barstool now has a non-compete clause, so they actually can't take any money from any sports book, which is not great for them. But I mean, what's the price of having the cost of having control, right? It's priceless. So now they have full autonomy. They have full control. So, yeah.
The Barstool deal was January of 2020.
That was when they took the initial stake and they bought the whole company just this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So.
It makes. Listen, we knew that Disney and ESPN would eventually enter this space. I didn't think this is how they would do it. But
I know, me neither. But it's great. I mean, ESPN's been talking about this, flirting with this for a while now. Yep. They could have picked anybody. They picked Penn. A huge win for Penn, honestly. Huge win for Penn. And that's why in the chat, Nikki's pointing this out, or someone pointed this out. DraftKings is down, 5% today, at least?
Whatever. Interesting, though. Yeah, I guess I don't know why they can't.
6.5% DraftKings.
I don't know why it has to be. Yeah, I would think that rising tide lifts all boats in this kind of brand new industry. Also, you guys sit here and say, "Oh, of course they can't have Barstool. It's Disney." Well, where's the line on this? It's Disney because this is gambling, right? This is still gambling. Yep. So, okay, they can't have Barstool because it's Disney, but they can invest in gambling. I don't know. I think if there's enough dollars,
They're cherry picking morals here is what they're doing.
if there's enough dollars there, it's gonna be okay. If Barstool was a good investment, they probably would want to keep Barstool. I don't think this is it's Disney thing. I think Barstool just wasn't a great idea.
Barstool's just not on brand with Disney. Gambling, clearly they feel that it is.
I think Barstool didn't quite get them the market share they were hoping for. They found a way to basically make a trade. They basically just traded Barstool for ESPN. I think it's a great deal for Penn, honestly. So
is Penn good though? Like, so look at this in the chat. Penn doesn't know what it's doing. ESPN bet will suck. Not knowing anything about this space, I'm always hearing people kind of make fun of Penn. Like, do they just continue to make bad decisions?
I don't know. I don't gamble. I think betting is a tax on the stupid.
You can't underestimate the built-in ESPN has 30 years of inertia, 40 years of inertia on their side, right? People complaining about ESPN all the time. It's not what it used to be, this and that. They have the eyeballs. It doesn't matter. They have the eyes. They have the live sports.
Dante wants one stock to buy today. We already gave you several. I don't know if you missed it, Dante. But why don't you bring in Kimmy Sokoloff to talk about some short-term trades?
She's always got ideas for us.
I'm getting into this Coinbase trade here this morning.
All right.
I just transferred more money into my broker. Kimmy Sokoloff, lots of trades yesterday. Very aggressive.
It was a terrible day.
Terrible. Every day. You say that about every day.
You say that about every day. You had way more winners than losers. So you did something.
Not really. If you look at point amount, I came out above because of Eli Lilly, and I kept reshorting. People in the room, it's very hard. Listen, we did one quick trade right away, made 4 points, roughly 4 points, right? And then after that, when it broke below 530, I said, guys, you want to short it? There's potential. You could take $1, $2. It's very hard for me to say go back to a trade. And it was continuously giving yesterday on the short side. And, it's hard to tell people to keep doing it. I'm like, hey guys, if it breaks 525 could go lower. If it breaks 520, it could go to 515, so it was a very tough trade to continue going because you don't want to jinx yourself. And then Meta totally flopped. It looked like it was going to go, but the pattern is very tight on Meta. It's just not going yet. So I have to watch it, see if it gets going. I know you guys were talking about Penn. Do you guys like Penn?
It's got some work to do. It's messy, Kimmy.
Yeah, chart's messy. I like the news, but the chart is a different story.
Exactly. Yeah. So let's see. We're still stuck. We're still range bound. I have to tell you, I have a list here. Things are not intriguing me because things are not going. The market needs to pick a direction here, right? It's the Qs, the SPYs, IWMs, they're all stuck under resistance, right? It's whether if they're stuck and either they're going to go up and fill their respective gaps, like 480 on the Qs, or they're going to reverse back down. Like yesterday, we did a short in Qs, but it never closed that gap at what was that, at 368 whatever, 368.63 came close. I would have reversed the trade and went back long. You know what I mean? Like I could have told the room to go long on for a bounce up to maybe 370, 371. But we didn't.
Kimmy, I think you're absolutely right. We're seeing the exact same thing. These indexes are stuck below overhead supply, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to be individual winners at the stock and the sector level. Can you walk me through the Penn gaming? What are you seeing here?
So I got to see the way it trades for the first 5-10 minutes. I'm going to watch it and potentially I miss it. It's very jumpy. At 8 a.m., it was down at 27.28. Now it's at 29. It was just at close to $30. Now it's below 29.50. I got to see how it handles. I might even stay away. It might be too aggressive. I'm going to see how it handles this 29.50 area. Should it get going and rally above, then maybe we get to $30.50 to $31. It would be a very aggressive trade. you know, so we have to see. We have to see how it goes. I have to see.
But this is what's moving. This is what's moving today.
What?
This is what's moving today, Penn. You know, good on you for looking. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's off the highs. It's off the after hours.
It's off the highs, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
If you look at the 1 minute. Also, you know, like Tesla hanging on. You know, I could see if it bounces back to 255. I'll watch that. Let's see. You know,
I like that,
like
Kimmy. I like the Tesla. A back above 255 could get going towards 270.
Right, but I might take it up to 255 and then kick it out. Right.
Got it. So for me, I like it long if it's able to break through that level.
Well, I do too. I have alert at 255, but I'm also going to watch below the 255 level if I could get a bounce to it. Right.
Yep. Totally.
That's what I'm going to watch too. Wait, there's another one here. Netflix. Netflix is toying with the 440 area. I gave them in the room last week on August 1st. 440, and I said potential to 445. It went. Now I'm looking if it could hold 440 back to 445, then 448. So that's another one.
All right, I like it.
What did you say about coin? Do you like coin? I mean, they have news that could come out, and it could go either way, right? Yep. With SEC and stuff.
Oh, wait, I thought we were past that, and we're not.
It's already out. SEC's coming after them, but it seems like they're now a critically important player in the space because of all these new spot ETFs that were launched. They had to list Coinbase as their exchange.
So I recommended it yesterday at like 87.50. That's the name, and it dropped down. Whatever, you know. I said, guys, you know, these names you got to give some wiggle room. I go, just have your stop in place. There could be news on it. I said at 87.50, potential to 88.50. It did go there. I didn't take the trade. I recommended it in the room if anyone cared to take it. It was aggressive play. You know, you just got to be careful because there could be news any day.
Yeah. I like those reversals yesterday for sure. We talked about Mara and Riot today. Coinbase, same thing. A lot of those look very similar. I like it, Kimmy. I'm into it.
Yeah.
All right, guys, if you want to trade with Kimmy, join her room. The link is on the bottom of the screen right now. It's also in the description. I'll put a QR code up if you're watching us on your TV or your computer and you want to scan the code. If that's your thing, scan the code right there. And then the link is right there below.
Kyle's
Kimmy?
so cute. One of the traders in the room. He's so sweet.
No one is harder on herself than Kimmy. Why? She just makes money. That's it. All right.
I'm actually meeting one of the traders today. They're in Hilton Head.
All right. All right. How far is that from you?
It's an hour, but we're going to meet like in Bluff, like 45 minutes. Like she's going to come at one of the female traders. We don't have many female traders, so I'm going to.
All right. I like it. I like it. Female traders are better than male traders. Is that right?
Yeah. So I get to meet her later. I'm excited.
All right. Have a good one, Kimmy.
All right. Bye, guys. Kimmy.
All right.
I have two headlines to talk about.
Yeah, is one of them Wework?
You know why female traders are better than male traders?
No. I didn't look, but I had I knew it. I had a feeling. I don't know why. I just had a feeling.
I feel bad that I stole Caleb's thunder like that. I did not even look. You know, I rarely look at the emails. I knew he was going to go with coin because it looks just like the ARCF. And it's clean. It's really clean. I like this trade, guys. I'll be in it in 6 minutes here.
What, the Coinbase?
Yeah. I mean, look, that base, in my opinion, is completed if we're above those pivot highs in the middle.
Yeah, I like the pullback. So listen, so the reason that female traders are better than male traders is because they're more risk averse. And male traders are, you know, it's just science. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, Rachel. You know, the risk aversion at the end of the day helps with the risk management and the less aggressive trading style. So less volatility and better risk management from a female's mind, the way that females are built mentally versus males that we're trained to go out there and risk everything to be able to provide food and shelter and clothing for our families. Like, you know, our ancestors literally had to risk their lives for that. So we're still trained that way when females are not trained that way. Quite the opposite, actually. So really, really interesting. I've read so much about this stuff. It's fascinating. Strazza's like, well, I'm a dude, so
All right, wait. So,
just like a female when it comes to trading, all the things you're talking about. So,
all right, Strazza, you want to talk about Wework? They're in the news today.
yeah. So basically, they got a going concern
That's concerning.
report, which more or less means the auditor has doubts that this company will not go bankrupt in the next 12 months. So I don't think that this is going to be a real shock to anyone. Not sure what it's doing in pre-market this morning, but
It's only down 20%.
But the chart was telling us that this is a going concern for the past year now.
For the record, most people didn't realize that this still existed. I am one of those people.
Yeah.
We don't talk about penny stocks here, but if there's a featured documentary on HBO about it, then we can talk about it, right? Is that the rule?
You know, it'll stink when WeWork goes away. I've had some great memories in WeWork offices over the years. This, it's been a
I
thing.
guess. No, this isn't a communist country. You don't keep bad companies around for no reason.
The chart
Go to
report,
zero. Go away.
The chart report was founded in a WeWork office down on Wall Street.
Yeah, great. So what?
So you have no feelings.
I have plenty of feelings only about the things that I care about. WeWork is just not one of those things.
Hold on. I want to address the comment in the chat. 135 says, but WeWork is everywhere still. WTF. What?
Yeah.
That's not the issue. The issue is that their tenants are churning.
I think that's the problem, is that they're everywhere. They keep losing money. I think that's not a good thing.
Maybe.
More WeWorks, the more money they lose. Is that the story?
I could not, when this thing went public, 2 years ago, or no, it was 2020. Oh my gosh, yeah, it was October 2020. God, I couldn't believe it. They actually made it to the public markets after all that.
Right. Because they almost didn't, Spencer. If you remember,
gosh.
IPO, they had to shelve it for a while. I thought it was never going to happen too. You're right.
Maybe the worst S1 in history of S1s. But
it was
why was the S1 so bad?
It was hilarious. It will be a Harvard Business School case study.
It's awful. It was people read it and they were like, "Oh my god, this guy!"
When he wrote
this guy Adam Newman might be like actually crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I think in order to have a movie made out of you, I think you need to be crazy, right?
It was like a religious writing.
That is weird. It was weird.
Can we do some hot corner, because there's some serious transactions.
I'll talk about Marriott. Yeah, we got some things to talk about here.
Let's do it.
All right, hot corner. What was the other news thing you wanted to talk about, Steve?
Did we talk about the golf earnings? Right? Didn't we have Top Golf?
We haven't talked about any earnings today, so we can at some point. But let's do hot corner.
All right, go.
Hot corner. So hot right now.
Big transactions this time around, huh?
Yep. So, all right, let's take it from the top. This Expensify certainly stands out. This is a private
equity. Have you seen this chart?
Expensify is an ugly chart.
Woo!
What? Is that what you're talking about? Listen, this is
Expensify might be the ugliest chart in the world.
So this is one of those examples of, hey, insiders can mess it up too. This guy was out here buying stock just a few days ago, I think late last week, and Monday or Tuesday of this week. Then they came out with earnings yesterday and are down another 15%. He was buying
the chart. There's slide 1. It's got the chart.
So, I mean, he probably could have easily made a phone call and found out what was about to happen. Maybe chose not to. I don't know. But you see this stuff. It does happen. So maybe he comes out and buys more. Yeah.
Look at this thing. Woo! Nasty.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But it's down pre-market, I believe. Today it's trading closer to like $5. So
Yeah,
Opco,
this thing's terrible.
back to the list. Opco Health. Phil Frost has been buying stock in Opco Health for as long as I've been paying attention to the stock market. Literally. He buys this stock constantly. I believe he's the founder and chairman CEO. It has never made it a good stock. When I see this stock on this list and I see him as the buyer, completely ignore it.
Well, $1.2 million, that's not nothing, but to your point, his track record is not very good. Punch up the chart there, slide 1 there on the OPK. Interesting.
Not interested. I'm telling you, go back and look.
You don't have to be interested.
This guy is a serial inside purchaser. I don't know what or why, but this, yeah, nothing. I don't know.
It's up. It's up. It's flat pre-market here. I mean, listen, it's something to keep an eye on. Something to keep an eye on. What else? Specialty chemicals. AXTA.
Marriott Vacations stands out. CEO and CFO, both buyers, so 2 Form 4s. Maybe not the biggest, but I wouldn't call it a piker purchase either. And this one's like scrounging down there on the lows. Maybe there's some sort of a bear trap move here. At least you can define your risk, right? And know exactly where you define your risk. I don't think that's the right information for the Form 4, but it doesn't matter. VAC, though, throw up the ratio chart, right? I'm a big fan of Marriott, but this is not the Marriott that we all know and love. This is like their timeshare business. Smaller company. It's a mid-cap company. This is more like the ownership and like rental, and they have an exchange. I was kind of reading about it this morning. It's not the hotel chains themselves. So if you want to be in the hotels, the stock chart looks a lot better. That's MAR. And here's the ratio of the two showing you, what I'm talking about. I think you want to stay away from the timeshare business, VAC, making new relative lows against their flagship business, which is the hotel holding company, which is MAR.
More insider buying on the regional bank front. We keep seeing that. I feel like it's almost every day.
Yeah.
Craig Rupert, piker purchase, only 300 grand. But just again, I feel like every day we see more insiders buying these random little regional banks. And this one is
point, though. Have you ever heard? Yeah.
It's $1 billion regional bank based out of Olney, Maryland.
Sandy Spring Bancorp. I mean, have you ever heard of any of these tiny little banks? There's too many banks.
That's why when they were disappearing, I didn't care because I never heard of them.
They're like shit coins. There's just a ton of them, and a bunch need to go to zero.
They're the shit coins regional banks.
All right, so look, you'll like this. We did have some cool options flow yesterday. AbbVie, they're hitting the calls out in March of next year. I like that. Really going out a couple quarters there. Hitting the
talking JC's book a little there. No big deal.
Moving the market, my friend. And look at this. I mean, PayPal, it's like, this is oh God, it's so bad. How much worse can it get? Let's sell puts in PayPal because it's a disaster. So that was interesting too. They're not buying calls. They're selling puts.
So they're not necessarily betting that it's going to go up. They're just betting that it's going to stop going down.
Right.
Yeah.
It's been a true disaster this year. I am long, full disclosure. Probably get stopped out at a round trip pretty soon.
I'm long that AbbVie. Long the AbbVie. It's working.
You know what else is on that list for the options is Lyft.
Yeah, terrible. We don't talk about Lyft on the show. We remember?
Man,
well, they had earnings.
Strazza has strong feelings.
Dude, they're awful. I deleted the app. Want nothing to do with this company.
I never even had the app.
Oh God, I just see an ugly stock chart anytime I see the app on my phone. It's depressing.
Yeah, well, they had earnings, and I don't think the reaction was particularly strong from the stock. Maybe it was actually, but anyway, the numbers were revenue beat, guidance beat, and nice guidance beat actually. Revenue was in line, EPS beat. Rides were up 18% year over year. What are we doing this morning? We are down 8%. I don't know. All right. Oh, tough reversal. Popped off the report. Now down to $10. Okay. Well, there you go. So
why don't you guys just talk amongst yourselves for a little bit? I got to do a little bit of trading here.
I was thinking the same
Hold
thing.
on. Let me rip through these right now. So this is the calendar for the week. Obviously, it doesn't include all of the reports, just the ones that we could fit. Yeah. So
Alibaba, but that's not worth reading.
Well, I would never read the Alibaba earnings report, but I would watch the stock after it. Anyway, here it is. Twilio.
Disaster.
I have to catch up on what these things are all doing now that we're open here. Twilio. Okay, so it has held its gains this morning. Do I have the chart up? Yeah, I do. Okay. There was pretty sure it was a beat and a beat, right? Yeah, a beat and a beat for Twilio. Guidance actually came in a little bit light for the upcoming quarter. But anyway, there's a Twilio chart. We also had AMC, which is going to have the best quarter ever, thanks to Barbenheimer. I don't know how, repeatable that is, but that's what they talked about last night. Was just they're going to have the best quarter in their company's history. So I
Who's
guess this is AMC. So
Yeah.
I guess that's cool. Don't know if they can do that every time. Probably not. What else do we have? We had a list. We did that. Take-Two. Not many video game stocks left. ATVI going off the board. If you want to invest in video games, you got this. You got EA. You got a couple of smaller ones, but there's been a lot of consolidation in the past 5 or so years. Take-Two's EPS was light, and their sales were in line, and we've reversed hard off the open now. We were up, and now we're flat from yesterday. So there was that. Do we have any more? Oh, yeah, this was the big one, right? Celsius. Yeah, Celsius crush it. CELH. Absolutely blew it away. EPS, check this out. 52 cents versus a 29-cent estimate. Sales of $326 million versus a $274 million estimate. So they crushed the estimates on this one. What are we up today?
These guys sell the heart attacks in the can?
Yes, up 18% this morning.
Got it.
The heart attacks in the can.
I mean, Monster Beverage is in a secular uptrend too. I don't know. Whatever. I see the trucks in the cities like stopped in big long lines because they're giving out like free Monster. I'll never understand it, so I'll never be able to buy one of these companies. But this one's been working for a long time.
Yes, it has. Monster, I think for a while there, Monster was the best performing stock in the NASDAQ over the course of like a 20-year period. And then for you, Steve, MODG, right? Callaway Top Golf, Callaway, whatever it's called. EPS beat sales. Sales actually came a little bit light. Yeah, it did. Stock is down this morning. We're down about 10%. But there's your MODG chart.
All right, hold on.
And I think that was it for earnings. Were there any more? Oh, do you guys want to talk about Tilray real fast? Did you guys see Tilray yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh,
Fine. I think this is good to talk about. This is really interesting what they did.
oh my goodness gracious! The best day for this stock in I don't even know how long. I was amazed to see it keep on going. Frankly, we saw it up in the pre-market yesterday because they had acquired. Was it 6? They had acquired 6 beverage brands from Anheuser-Busch. Frankly, I didn't even know that any cannabis companies had capital to go out and make acquisitions. So that was
This is the blue chip of the pot stocks.
Well, I think that's the story.
right?
They
acquired it was 8 brands, not 6. But yeah,
Dude, Budweiser's doing so bad because of their stupid marketing idea that they had to sell off all these companies. Man.
Well, I think what's going on here is Tilray is demonstrating not just their willingness, but their ability to take advantage of the space that they're operating in right now. And that's that they can probably buy some brands for pennies on the dollar, right? Make some deals now while the market is as bad as it's ever been for these cannabis producers. And then maybe if things ever turn around, they're well positioned to dominate the space. So if anybody does dominate this space.
I don't think we actually mentioned it. So here are the brands that Tilray bought yesterday. They bought Shock Top, which I'm a fan of. They bought Breckenridge.
That's not weed. Shock Top is real beer.
Nobody
Yes, I
says
know.
it's weed. They bought a bunch of beer companies.
Oh,
Yeah,
this isn't weed beer. This is beer.
but Budweiser doesn't do weed beer, man.
Yeah, Budweiser's getting smoked because people don't like their marketing campaign, so they're like fire sailing all these other beer brands, and Tilray bought them, 6 of them, I think.
Yeah, so Tilray's diversifying. That's the line. So it's Shock Top, Breckenridge Brewery, Blue Point, and I don't know that one.
Blue Point's great. That's New York. Toasted lager. Blue Point's
Okay.
great.
10 Barrel Brewing Company, Red Hook Brewery, I don't know these, Widmer Brothers, Square Mile Cider Company, and Highball Energy.
Wait, so hold on. But the idea here is that they are now going to be a beer company too, or they're going to put weed in the beer?
Tilray was already a beverage company before, in addition to being a cannabis company. And so now they're just going deeper into the beverage space.
They
But
already owned some beer or spirits.
They've already had some beverage assets.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't
This
know.
is the degenerate economy that Lindzen's always talking about, right? Let's just get people hammered. We got to get them high, get them drunk. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, Tilray remains the stock that had the craziest one-day move that I've ever seen. a few years back. It went from 150 to 300, back to 150 in the same day. It was wild. Okay.
Should we might be a joke, but it's a $2 billion joke. So,
that's that. All right. You want to bring, you guys want to get Sean on here?
get him on here. First time Sean gets on the show since coming back, huh?
I know. Sean hasn't been on in quite a while. We've missed him. Options, Sean McLaughlin here, and he's ready. He's back. So let's do it. I got to find his bumper. It's collecting dust. There it is.
Gentlemen,
Johnny baby.
I'm wiping the dust off. Woo, dusty over here. Oh, we lost Strazza. I wanted to tell him he would have been he would really love the fact that, look at this. I'm wearing a sweatshirt today. For the first time in about 9 months, I woke up, or not 9 months, first time in like 6 weeks, I woke up, it's chilly here. I feel so great.
Lovely Colorado. Nice.
Good point.
Danny Jassy in Boulder, Colorado this week, actually.
Wait, what?
Yep, Danny Jassy, Boulder, Colorado.
Is he here now?
Yeah, he's there. Reach out to him.
You want to say hi?
Dude, I was just talking to him yesterday. He didn't even tell me he was here.
They probably didn't put 2 and 2 together that you're there. Shawnee, we got a lot to catch up on. Volatility, we had some of the lowest volatility that we've had in quite some time while you guys were gallivanting throughout Asia.
We were working so hard.
Right. The volatility index still very, very low. Why don't you just talk to us about, just generally speaking, how you're thinking through volatility, how you're looking to express trades in the market given the current volatility regime?
Well, I could tell you that over the last, 4 weeks or so, the trades that I like the most, no surprise, are just simple long call trades. Maybe doing a call spread if it's an expensive stock, but mostly I just want to buy calls because, like you said, volatility's been cheap. And here's a realization I had when Strazza and I were out in Asia. And the realization was, we are not taking enough risk. We are not being aggressive enough. We have a bull market that's just ripping. And, I was like, man, I'm just being too conservative and being too cute. I got to let these things run a little bit more. I got to put myself in a better position to have the big wins instead of just, nickel and dime some of these trades, some of these trends. Because this, we're at a spot now where the market has had a great rally. The world is finally waking up to the fact that we've had a good rally. And now we're hitting that upper resistance. You guys have been talking about that a little bit. But the upper resistance doesn't mean that this is the end. It just means we're setting up for what could potentially be another big run with broad participation. When I say broad participation, I mean like just mom and pop, like the regular people who've been afraid of this market for the last 2 years. I don't know, man. I don't think we're being aggressive enough. I like hearing you talking about the trades like that Mara and the Riot. By the way, I think people were listening to you about Mara because it popped above 16 at the open. It's giving it back a little bit, but
yeah, I got like 1 minute charts of these things up right now. I'm trying to get into some trades here.
I bought some of that Mara at the open.
Little dip, and now it's ticking higher. Listen, they're going to go where Bitcoin goes, right? You said you got into Mara at the open, Sean?
I got it just after the open, yeah.
I added to some positions this morning. I'm good.
That little 40 cent spike, that little 40 cent spike, that was me buying my position because I'm huge. I'm a huge player.
I'm trying to get into coin here. I'm not getting filled. Some YOLO calls. Damn it. I already have a pretty big position in coin. Can we talk about energy? Speaking of trading opportunities, we talk about energy. Man. So yesterday we had some, ridiculously bullish reversal candles. Look at any of the energy ETFs. Look at some of the, individual components. Follow through right here today. Look, I know it's not the sexiest name in the space, but this Schlumberger is going to go. This trade's going to
Schlumberger.
I look at this thing. Look at SLB, JC.
I see it. I see it.
This is
what's crazy.
Follow through. If these, candles finish green today for energy, I think there's a lot of, consolidations, multi-month consolidations, even longer term, like the one in Schlumberger, that are ready to resolve higher and can be some really nice trading opportunities.
Natty Gas up 6% today.
Yeah, it is. Saw that.
Strazza, speaking of Schlumberger, you may forget because it's been a while, but back in the winter, right around, I don't have the exact date, but I'm going to say early March, you and I talked about an options trade when volatility was incredibly low in Schlumberger. We bought a straddle, which we don't do that too often, but we bought a long straddle at the 55 strike. And you said at that time, I'm going to jog your memory here, but you said this might turn out to be our best trade of the year. And I was like, oh, don't jinx it. Don't do that. But for a little while, it was looking like you were going to be right because it was going down. I'm like, oh, here comes the big crash. We're going to make money on the downside. Lo and behold, whipsaw higher starting in June, and now we might make money on the upside. Crazy.
Yep. So
by the way, we have till January for this to play out.
What does Sean say? Options give you options.
Yeah, that's great. It's a great quote, Sean.
This is a great quote. I don't think you stole that. That's a you quote, right?
What did I say?
Options give you options.
Oh yeah, I said that.
TM.
Did you steal that from somebody, or is that a Sean thing?
That's me. That's all me, baby.
I like it.
I'm all about options.
He's quotacious.
Let me ask you this, Sean.
Yeah.
What percentage of the open interest is too much to own personally?
Oh, geez. I don't have a number for that. I'm not a hedge fund swinging a
ballpark it for me.
Talk about first world problems.
What's too much? What's too much percentage of open interest?
This is something I've never had to consider personally, but I would think that if you own more than 10% of the open interest, you're probably in trouble. Unless you plan on exercising those options and taking ownership of the stock.
Okay, it's good to know. All right.
But if you want to trade around that position, that's tough if you own 10% or more.
Okay, that's a good number. Good. That's good.
Counterparty risk is real, and it only gets more real the larger you are, right?
Yeah.
No, I like that 10%. So owning more than 10% of all of the open interest is too aggressive.
What shit penny stock gold junior miner are you buying now?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Seriously.
I'm not buying any junior gold miner. What are you talking about? Open interest. This is an options contract.
I'm just wondering why you're asking me such a silly question.
Why is that a silly question? That's a legit concern that one can have.
It's because JC owns 100% of the open interest in McEwen calls. Is that why?
No. This has nothing to do with gold. I'm just in a hypothetical situation. If one were to express a bullish thesis in a particular stock using the options market, what ownership of the overall open interest for that particular strike in that particular expiration is irresponsible? And Sean's number was 10%.
Yeah. But the caveat, I don't know if you heard my caveat though. The caveat is if you're hoping to trade around that, like buy the calls and then get out of them, yes, that 10% is important. But if you're buying the calls and you would like to be an owner of that stock and the stock's ripping higher, then it doesn't really matter because you'll just exercise the calls and take ownership of the stock. So you could be 100% of all the open interest. That's fine.
I don't think I've ever exercised the call. Have you?
Not on purpose, no.
Right, exactly. Right, correct. Right. Yeah, I've never look at Strazza with his notes. What are you writing there, bro? What are you writing?
I use notepads.
All right, I'm hearing some guy named T. Dorsey has been saying options give us options in the chat there. That may be true. I've never heard of T. Dorsey, so great.
Yeah, you have. Tom Dorsey. Dorsey Wright. He sold his company to the NASDAQ for like $400 million.
Point and figure, bro.
Oh,
point and figure,
the
bro.
Point and figure guy. Okay, all right.
Well, in that case, Sean. Okay, so you're buying Mara. So clearly you've been reading our research. What else are you doing?
Well, you were just talking about energy and resources. We got into PXD, Pioneer Resources recently. Loving that setup. And this is a situation where we're keeping it simple, man. We're just buying calls because the vol's so low. The setup is pretty clean. I don't know. That's my MO right now. I'm trying so hard. This is another lesson I learned just for me personally when we were out in Asia is, man, when trends are going, when the market is agreeing with what you're doing, it pays to keep it simple, man. Don't be putting on these crazy like multi-legged spreads and calendar spreads and risk reversals and ratio things. You could do all that. That's fine. But man, when you got a trend and when you got the wind in your sails, just keep it simple and keep your life simple and just let it ride.
I like that this NASDAQ continues to underperform and struggle. This thing's, I think this thing's going to be struggling for quite some time. You love to see it.
The NASDAQ?
Yeah, it's got too much of this growth. You're getting rotation into other areas. Here we are talking about energy and natural resources and crypto and financials and, this technology, the XLK is down another 66 basis points to open the day. Apple down another 80 basis points.
Right. Well, Apple's
Microsoft
the big drag, right?
Again.
Apple's the big drag.
It's just growth in general. Look at the NASDAQ 100 down 55 basis points right on the open with a flat Dow. The rotation is happening right in front of us. This is perfectly natural. Like Ravi says, let it go to zero. Who cares? Not my problem.
What do they say? Rotation is the lifeblood of a healthy bull market.
Something like that. Look at this. Somebody's paying attention. No, it's true. That's Ralph Acampora. Sector rotation is the lifeblood of a bull market. You see it all the time. So, and we've been seeing it over the last year. So now it's no different. Tech and growth had their day in the first half of the year, and things have really been changing over the last couple of months. Technology, as we speak, is making new multi-month lows on a relative basis. You don't see a lot of new multi-month lows and strong uptrends. So on a relative basis,
I really
lowest
love
level
me some
since
Ralph.
May, by the way.
I really love me some Ralph Acampora. When are we going to go visit his barn?
We got to get Ralph on the show. Spencer, get Ralph on the show.
Yeah, we need Ralph on the show for sure.
Can we do a little recess? Because I got a good one.
I don't know Ralph, but you guys should. Yeah.
I know Ralph.
We all know Ralph. Don't worry about it. We'll get Ralph.
Before we do recess, though, we did have a question in the chat about Uber, and we have a chart handy. Let me
Uber.
Let me pull it up right now. I know.
Also, I was listening to everything you guys were just talking about. I was charting some of the stuff. Pioneer Resources broke out of a massive base. We put a trade on it, I think, last year. We've been patient with it. It's right at those former highs from pre-financial crisis. Like this current level, I think it's like 132. Do we have the PXD monster base chart?
Oh, you want a PXD?
We don't have it. Go to Uber.
All right, yeah. Here's the Uber chart. This is from TC in the stock market media chat. He asked about this. So, what do you think? And then we'll do PXD next.
Go ahead.
Anyone? Bueller? Anyone?
What? We like it. We've been.
You like it?
Walk through those levels. Why do you like it so much? Why do you like it so much?
I like that pullback. It's a good time to buy on that pullback if we're bullish.
Why do I like it? It's a primary trend reversal. Base has been completed. You have a number of levels where you could define your risk and get long. We're going back to the old highs. And fundamentally, this company is on absolute fire.
Fundamentally.
Ooh. Did you just drop the F word?
On fire.
Throw up slide one. Throw up slide one.
I got it. We got this PXE chart.
Throw up slide one. It's clean. Shawnee likes it. Strazza likes it. Market likes it most important.
There's a lot of big bases. I want to find this post. Bases and energy. We did, I don't know if it was beginning of this year, late last year, but we zoomed way out on all these energy charts and we were outlining, all ones that look pretty much identical to this. Hess is another one. Monster base breaking back out. I think those are the ones you want to be in. If we're rotating back into energy over any sort of long-term time frame, buy these massive base breakouts. Chevron, right? I think Exxon is right there. Feel me, JC? You with me? Am I crazy?
I'm long Chevron. I'm with you, brother. Listen, if PXD does well, if ExxonMobil does well, if oil goes up, I'm making money.
Yeah, there's plenty of options.
This is a good example of what we were just talking about with the cryptocurrencies. You, me, and Caleb are all bullish. We're all executing in different ways, right? Same thing.
Same team though. All same team. Same with Sean. Listen, can we talk about these golf stocks? Let's talk about these golf stocks. I think it's really interesting. We have a handful of publicly traded golf companies. They all just reported earnings.
What do you got?
Yeah, let me find the slides because we have a bunch of them.
I think, yeah. So basically, you have Callaway and you have Titleist.
What's Callaway's ticker symbol again?
Callaway is Top Golf, MODG. So they
it used to be like LLY or something, right?
So they just really complicated things. More or less, their largest revenue department is now Top Golf. Yeah,
there you go.
Just one at a time. Just go to Top Golf, Mod G.
I like that
Another
typo, gold versus MODG. We know it's not that.
Okay, so this is a really ugly chart. They acquired this Top Golf, which they thought would be kind of the growth driver for their entire business, and I think it's kind of holding them back a little bit. If you look at something like Golf, Acushnet, which owns Titleist, I mean, these guys are just selling like close to $1 billion in golf balls every year. It's just crazy, super steady business. They can pay a dividend because of that, which Top Golf Callaway cannot do now. They just made a big acquisition, right? They need to see that through. They're not going to pay a dividend probably anytime soon. Very different businesses. And if you look at the relative trend between the two, I think it kind of supports what I'm saying here. You want to be, this is golf, not gold. But that's basically, you're looking at a ratio here of Titleist versus Callaway and Top Golf. Another thing I'll say is, for me, a big part of any sort of bullish thesis for investing in golf needs to be Asia. That is the growth market for these companies. Golf, Acushnet gives you about 25% exposure purely to Asian sales. And they break out South Korea and Japan because the markets are that big to them. While Top Golf is only giving you about like 10, 15% of exposure to Asian markets. So you're getting more of Asia also. With Titleist, I think it's a safer bet. I like Acushnet if it holds those former highs.
My understanding is this Asian golf experience is
Yeah, I was going to say,
else,
Strazza got so bullish on golf stocks when we were in Asia.
Dude, it's a thing. I'm excited to go listen to these companies' earnings calls because I listened last quarter and all they do is talk about Asia. That is their big market. That's where they're all focused. That's where they're all trying to expand into. And after being there and seeing it, I very much understand why. I think that's going to be a booming market for decades to come.
All right, Spencer, hit the bumper.
Yeah, I'm just looking at.
Nobody ever wants to talk about golf with me, so that's pretty par for the course.
I took you to play golf 2 days in a row last week.
Let's get to recess.
Plenty of golf.
We both
The kids want recess.
I know they do. I'm looking at just the volatility today, the movement on these earning stocks. Pubmatic down 30%, Upstart down 27%. LegalZoom down 23%, Doximity down 21%, Roblox down 20%.
I got filled on my Coinbase calls.
Tough out there.
120, the weekly hundreds.
And then on the upside, you got Toast, Dutch Brothers, Penn. We talked about that. Celsius. All right, recess time. But I just wanted to point that out.
Give us recess. Nobody uses Uber in London. Great.
Guess
How
who called
sweet
me
were the
last night?
Ubers in
Guess who
Tokyo?
called me last night?
They were awesome. The
Who
car
called me last night. You ready? Mark Fisher called me last night on the celly. And I didn't answer the phone because I was actually going to sitting down with dinner with my family. I told my wife, I was like, one of my heroes is calling me right now, and I'm not answering the phone because I'm going to sit down with you guys just to show you where I am in life. And because if this was 10 years ago, I would have fallen out of my chair to go answer the phone. And so anyway, I texted him. I was like, hey, I'll call you after I put the kids down. So I spoke to him last night. Very cool. Mark Fisher is one of my all-time favorite traders, technicians. Call him whatever you want. He is the man. A lot of the things that you see me do and talk about, I learned from him. He's on my personal Mount Rushmore.
How did he get
and I'm
helping?
Josh set it up because he's doing some stuff in Miami with kids playing baseball in Hialeah, and that's one of the things that I'm working on is sort of kids with sports. So, and I grew up playing baseball in Miami, getting my ass kicked in the city playoffs every year by the kids in Hialeah. They're like Cuban kids who don't play any other sport; they just play baseball. From when they come out of the womb. It's one of those situations. Yeah. So no matter how good your team is, they're still going to kick your ass. So anyway, he's doing some stuff there, really cool, and I'm here to help.
So he lives in Miami, Jason?
He lives in Miami.
That's awesome.
So he's not related to Ken Fisher, is he?
No, he's not.
No.
Okay. Very different people.
No. The Ken Fisher is like the silly, the creepy guy with the commercials. This is Mark Fisher, one of the greatest traders that ever did it.
Come on, that was funny. All right. What anyone guys have recess?
Yeah, I got something.
Yeah.
Who called you? Anybody as cool as me?
Strazza and I committed a major faux pas when we were in Asia, and that was we went out there with 0 business cards. And everyone in Asia apparently thinks the business card is the greatest thing in the world. So
I knew this, so I'm very frustrated.
So that kind of sucked. But then we made it worse by the fact that apparently everyone in Asia stays connected via Facebook. Me and Strazza, not on Facebook. So we were striking out with everybody on how to stay connected.
They were like,
so Strazza,
these users.
So Strazza, I got back from Asia, and then I headed straight out to the East Coast here. I spent a week in Buffalo. I attended my 30th high school reunion. You could save the old jokes for later, guys. But at my
August?
30th high school reunion, I reconnected with.
That makes sense.
I reconnected with old friends I hadn't seen in years. I lost touch with, and you know what? They all stay connected on Facebook. Damn it! So what did I do, Strazza?
You made
I created a Facebook account 2 days ago.
Oh, gross! Boo!
I know.
Boo.
Life is a circle, Sean.
I said I would never do it. And now here I am.
Life is a circle.
At what's on Facebook Marketplace, and they're very sneaky. They don't let you like click anything into Facebook Marketplace without getting an account and like signing in. So I have to use my girlfriend's to go Facebook shop.
My brother-in-law is always sending me cars. So I'm trying to buy a 1988 hatchback Mustang.
Good stuff.
And so he sends them to me, but I can never open it.
Yeah, I know. I have the same problem. My friends are always sending over like used golf clubs. All right, hey, real quick. I know that we got to run here. I finally watched that movie, The Whale, with Brendan Fraser.
And
it's on my list. Is it good?
It was just sad.
What?
He's a great actor. He did a great job. It kind of like takes place in the same room, the entire movie. Some people probably call it boring or slow, but like there was some excellent acting, and it was super sad. It was too sad. It was too sad for me. But I could see why people are loving this movie.
All right, here's the
schedule. The first
schedule.
half of it and got bored.
Right, it's slow.
Schedule for the day. We got What the Fick with Ian Culley coming up at 11:30. The Hot Corner with Strazza at 1. Options trade of the week. We're doing that. Sean and JC are back. That'll be at 3 o'clock. And then at some point after that, we will upload this week's episode of Pardon the Price Action. That's the schedule here on Stock Market TV. Drop us a like. Hey, subscribe to our channel. We'd appreciate that. Thanks to our guest today, Caleb Franzen. Thanks to all of you for watching on Twitter, on YouTube, on our website, our beautiful new website, stockmarketmedia.com. Please check it out. We were very proud of it. And we'll see you guys later.
Peace.
Let's go.
Run it. I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs.